16 Buddhist teachings to stay unshakable in any situation. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by stress, negativity, or emotions that seem beyond your control? Have you ever wondered why some people navigate life's hardships with unshakable calm while others are easily thrown off balance? Most people believe that peace comes from having a perfect life, no problems, no conflicts, no struggles. But the truth is far more profound. Real peace doesn't come from the outside world. It comes from within. No matter what storms rage around you, you have the power to remain steady like a mountain, untouched by the chaos. The Buddha once said, "Rule your mind, or it will rule you." Yet, mastering your mind is not something that happens by chance. It requires understanding, practice, and the right mindset. The good news: the wisdom of Zen Buddhism holds the key. In this video, we'll explore 16 powerful Zen Buddhist principles, timeless teachings that will help you break free from stress, release emotional suffering, and cultivate an unshakable inner peace. These are not just abstract ideas, they are practical, actionable insights that can redefine the way you experience life. By the end of this video, you'll have a deeper understanding of how to detach from negativity, let go of unnecessary worries, and live with clarity, presence, and tranquility. And trust me, the final principle we'll discuss might just be the most life-changing lesson of all. Are you ready to take the first step toward true inner freedom? Let's begin. 1. No one can insult you unless you allow it. Think about the last time someone insulted you. How did you react? Did you feel angry? Did their words affect your mood, ruin your day, or make you doubt yourself? But here's the truth: words only have power if you give them permission to affect you. One day, a Zen master was teaching his students when a stranger barged into the room and began hurling insults at him. The man's face was red with anger, his words sharp and cutting, but the Zen master simply smiled, unbothered, as if the insults were nothing more than a breeze passing by. The stranger, growing even more furious, shouted, "Why won't you say anything back? Are you deaf? Defend yourself." The Zen master calmly looked at him and asked, "If someone offers you a gift, but you refuse to take it, to whom does the gift belong?" The stranger paused, confused. After a moment, he answered, "Well, it still belongs to the person who tried to give it." The master nodded and said, "Exactly. The same goes for anger and insults. If you do not accept them, they still belong to the one who delivered them." Suddenly, the man understood. His anger faded. He realized that his words had no power unless the Zen master accepted them. The lesson: no one can hurt you unless you allow them to. How to apply this wisdom in real life? The next time someone insults you, ask yourself, "Do I need to accept this gift?" Pause before reacting. When you feel insulted, take a deep breath and remind yourself, "This only hurts if I let it." Practice emotional detachment. Just as the Zen master refused to take the insult personally, you can train yourself to let negativity pass without letting it sink in. See insults as a reflection of the other person, not yourself. Their words say more about their emotions, mindset, and struggles than they do about you. Turn the situation into an opportunity for growth. Instead of reacting with anger, respond with wisdom. Show others that you are not easily shaken by negativity. By mastering this mindset, you will gain an unshakable inner peace, one that no insult can break. 2. Be strict with yourself, but gentle with others. Have you ever found yourself judging others harshly? Perhaps you've seen someone behave rudely, and you immediately labeled them as ill-mannered. Or maybe you've noticed someone struggling with something you find easy, and you thought, "Why can't they just do better?" It's easy to be critical of others while excusing our own flaws. When we make mistakes, we justify them. "I was tired. I didn't mean it. It was just a bad day." But when others do the same, we are quick to judge. This habit does not bring peace, it only fuels frustration and dissatisfaction. One day, a powerful king was walking through his city when he noticed a beggar sitting on the ground, eating his food in a rough and unrefined manner. The sight disgusted the king, who wrinkled his nose in disdain. "You eat like an animal," he scoffed. Such lack of refinement, the beggar, instead of reacting with anger, simply smiled and calmly replied, "Perhaps I do. But your majesty, while I eat like an animal, you are looking at me with contempt. So tell me, who is truly being uncivilized?" The king was stunned. He realized that while the beggar's manners might not have been elegant, his own reaction, judging and looking down on another person, was far worse. The lesson: if you expect perfection from others, you will only create suffering for yourself. How to apply this wisdom in real life? The next time you feel tempted to judge someone, ask yourself, have I never made mistakes? Recognizing your own imperfections helps you develop compassion for others. Shift your perspective. Instead of thinking, they should know better, try asking, what might they be going through? People's actions often stem from struggles we cannot see. Practice patience. When someone does something you dislike, remind yourself that everyone grows at their own pace. The same way you want others to be patient with your flaws, extend that patience to them. Lead by example. Rather than trying to control how others behave, focus on improving yourself. True wisdom is not in expecting perfection from others, but in striving for self-mastery while showing kindness to those around you. By practicing this, you will not only cultivate inner peace but also inspire others to be better, not through judgment, but through the quiet power of your own actions. 3. See everyone as a teacher. Have you ever felt deeply annoyed by someone? Perhaps it was a coworker who never listened, a friend who always complained, or even a stranger who was simply rude. It's natural to feel irritated, but what if I told you that these people, the ones who frustrate you the most, could actually be your greatest teachers? Think about it. Every challenging person you encounter offers you a chance to grow. The impatient driver who cuts you off teaches you patience. The rude customer service representative teaches you understanding. The friend who cancels plans at the last minute teaches you detachment. Instead of resisting these lessons, what if you embrace them? A Zen master once told his students, the most difficult people in your life are your best teachers. They reveal the areas where you still need to grow. This wisdom is profound. If you always avoid discomfort, you will never learn resilience. If you always seek people who agree with you, you will never expand your perspective. So, the next time someone upsets you, instead of reacting with frustration, ask yourself, what is this person teaching me? Are they teaching you to be more patient? To let go of control? To practice compassion? How to apply this wisdom in real life? When you feel irritated, pause and take a deep breath. Instead of immediately reacting, shift your mindset from, this person is annoying, to, this person is showing me where I need to grow. Observe your emotions. If someone makes you angry, ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Is this revealing an insecurity or expectation I need to work on? Practice gratitude. Instead of seeing difficult people as obstacles, see them as guides. Thank them silently for the lesson they are unknowingly teaching you. By doing this, you will transform every interaction into an opportunity for self-improvement. Life will no longer feel like a series of frustrating encounters but rather a classroom where every person you meet plays a role in your growth. For no one can make you feel bad unless you allow it. Have you ever felt deeply hurt by someone's words or actions? Maybe a friend betrayed your trust, a coworker criticized your work, or a stranger insulted you. It's easy to believe that others have the power to make us feel sad, angry, or worthless. But what if I told you that no one, not even the most cruel or unfair person, can truly hurt you unless you give them permission? Buddhism teaches, no one can make you suffer unless you allow them to. This wisdom is simple but profound. Imagine a person throwing insults at you. If you accept those words as truth, they will sting. But if you refuse to take them to heart, they lose all power over you. A Zen master once faced a man who insulted him relentlessly. The man shouted, cursed, and tried to provoke the master into anger. But the master simply smiled and remained silent. After a while, the frustrated man asked, "Why aren't you responding?" The master gently replied, "If someone offers you a gift, but you refuse to accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man hesitated. "To the giver, of course," the master nodded. "The same is true for insults. If I do not accept your words, they remain with you, not me." The man was stunned. He realized that his insults had no power unless the master gave them importance. This story holds a powerful lesson. You have control over your emotions. People can say or do whatever they want, but it is your choice whether to let it affect you. If you do not accept negativity, it cannot harm you. How to apply this wisdom in real life? The next time someone upsets you, pause before reacting. Ask yourself, do I really need to let this affect me? Most of the time, the answer is no. Imagine negativity as a package. If you refuse to accept it, it does not belong to you. Let it stay with the person who sent it. Practice emotional detachment. Just as you wouldn't take every piece of junk mail seriously, don't take every hurtful word personally. Shift your focus. Instead of dwelling on what was said, focus on your peace of mind. Remember, your inner world is yours to protect. By mastering this mindset, you will become unshakable. No one will be able to control your emotions unless you allow them to. And when you reclaim this power, you will find a deep, unbreakable peace within yourself. 5. Turn jealousy into motivation. Have you ever felt a pang of jealousy when you saw someone else succeed? Maybe a friend landed their dream job, a colleague received a promotion, or someone on social media seemed to have the perfect life. It's natural to feel envy, but if left unchecked, jealousy can become toxic. It drains your energy, fuels resentment, and distracts you from your own growth. But what if I told you that jealousy isn't the enemy? In fact, it can be your greatest teacher, if you know how to use it wisely. Buddhism teaches that suffering comes from attachment, and jealousy is a perfect example. We become attached to the idea that someone else's success means our failure. But this is an illusion. Life is not a competition. Someone else winning does not mean you are losing. Instead of letting jealousy consume you, transform it into inspiration. Imagine two people watching a successful entrepreneur. One person says, "They are just lucky. I will never have what they have." The other says, "How did they achieve this? What can I learn from them?" One remains stuck in negativity, while the other turns their envy into motivation. So the next time you feel jealous, pause and ask yourself these two powerful questions. What did this person do to achieve their success? Instead of resenting them, study them. Did they work harder? Did they take more risks? Did they develop habits that you can adopt? Success leaves clues. If you are willing to look, you will find them. What can I learn from them? Every successful person has something to teach. Instead of feeling bitter, take notes. Maybe they have a strong mindset, a disciplined routine, or a strategic approach that you can apply in your own life. How to apply this in real life? Shift your mindset. The next time you feel jealousy creeping in, remind yourself, this is not a sign of my failure, but a lesson I can learn. Write down 3 things you can learn from the person you envy. Is it their confidence? Their discipline? Their willingness to take risks? Find the lessons and apply them. Take action. Learning is meaningless without action. If you admire someone's work ethic, start improving yours. If they built a successful business, start researching how you can do the same. By transforming jealousy into motivation, you shift from being a passive observer of success to an active participant in your own growth. You no longer waste energy resenting others. Instead, you channel it into becoming the best version of yourself. And that is the true path to success. 6. Accept life as it is. Do you often find yourself complaining about life? Maybe you feel like things aren't fair, that you deserve better, or that life is constantly working against you. It's easy to fall into the trap of resisting reality, but Buddhism teaches a profound truth: suffering arises from resisting what is. It's not the events in life that cause our pain, it's our refusal to accept them. Imagine you are caught in the rain without an umbrella. You can curse the weather, get angry at yourself for forgetting your jacket, or blame the universe for being unfair. But no amount of complaining will stop the rain. The only real choice is to accept it. You can either let it ruin your day or embrace it. Feel the cool drops on your skin, and maybe even dance in it. The rain is not the problem, your resistance to it is. Life works the same way. When something unpleasant happens, we have two choices. We can resist, complain, and make ourselves miserable, or we can accept it and find a way forward. Think about a time when something didn't go your way, maybe a relationship ended, a job opportunity slipped away, or a personal goal fell apart. You might have thought, this isn't fair. This shouldn't have happened. But reality doesn't change just because we refuse to accept it. The truth is, the more we resist, the more we suffer, so how do we practice acceptance? Instead of saying, "This is unfair," try asking, "What can I do with this situation?" Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, focus on what you can learn. Every challenge carries a lesson. Maybe a failure teaches you resilience. Maybe a heartbreak teaches you self-worth. Maybe a rejection pushes you towards something even better. When you shift your mindset from resistance to acceptance, you stop seeing life as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something that happens for you. How to apply this in real life? Practice mindfulness. The next time you catch yourself complaining, pause. Take a deep breath. Notice your emotions without judgment. Remind yourself that resistance only deepens suffering. Reframe your thoughts. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Acceptance does not mean passivity, it means seeing reality clearly and working with it instead of against it. Focus on action. Once you accept a situation, ask yourself, what is the next best step I can take? Acceptance is not about giving up, it's about moving forward with clarity and wisdom. When you stop fighting reality and start accepting life as it is, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. You realize that peace doesn't come from controlling everything, it comes from letting go. And in that letting go, you find true freedom. 7. Live in harmony with nature. Have you ever noticed how nature never resists change? The seasons shift effortlessly. Leaves fall, but the tree remains. The river flows, never clinging to a single drop of water. The sun rises and sets without hesitation. Nature embraces change because change is its very essence. Yet as humans, we often resist the natural flow of life. We cling to the past, fear the future, and struggle against the present. But when we observe nature, we realize a profound truth: everything is temporary, and everything is in balance. Imagine watching a storm roll in. The sky darkens, the wind howls, and the rain pours down. But does the storm last forever? No. Eventually, the clouds break, the sun shines again, and the cycle continues. Life works the same way. Hardships come and go. Pain rises and falls. Nothing stays the same, and that's not a curse, it's a gift. When we accept the impermanence of all things, we stop clinging so tightly. We stop fearing loss and instead learn to appreciate each moment for what it is. Nature also teaches us about balance. The ocean is both calm and fierce. The mountains stand strong, yet they are shaped by the soft touch of the wind. Just like nature, we need balance in our own lives, between action and stillness, effort and surrender, ambition and contentment. Too much striving leads to stress, too much passivity leads to stagnation. But when we live in harmony with the rhythms of nature, we find peace. How to apply this in real life? Spend time in nature, take a walk in the park, sit by a river, or simply watch the sunset. Observe how effortlessly nature accepts change. Practice letting go, like leaves falling from a tree, let go of what no longer serves you. Understand that just as the seasons change, so do the phases of your life. Find your balance, ask yourself, am I forcing things, or am I flowing with life? Learn when to take action and when to surrender, just as nature does. When you align yourself with the wisdom of nature, you stop fighting life and start flowing with it. You realize that peace isn't about controlling everything, it's about trusting the rhythm of existence. And in that trust, you find freedom. 8. Practice ethical living, the path to true inner peace. Have you ever felt uneasy after doing something that went against your values? Maybe you told a small lie, treated someone unfairly, or acted out of selfishness. That nagging feeling in your heart, the weight on your conscience, is proof that inner peace cannot coexist with dishonesty or wrongdoing. The mind may try to justify these actions, but deep down, the soul knows the truth. Buddhism teaches that ethical living is not just about following rules but about cultivating a mind free from guilt and regret. When your thoughts, words, and actions align with integrity, you no longer live in fear of consequences or in shame of past mistakes. You walk through life with a sense of lightness, free from the burden of a guilty conscience. Imagine a still pond. When you act with honesty and kindness, your mind remains clear and undisturbed, like calm water reflecting the sky. But when you engage in deceit or harm, it's like throwing stones into the pond, creating ripples that distort the reflection. The more ethical your life, the stiller the water becomes, and the more clearly you see the truth of who you are. Living ethically doesn't mean being perfect, it means being aware. It means choosing kindness even when anger is easier, speaking the truth even when lies are tempting, and acting with integrity even when no one is watching. It is a commitment to doing what is right, not because of fear of punishment but because a pure heart leads to a peaceful mind. How to apply this in real life? Before making any decision, pause and ask yourself, does this action align with my values? If the answer is no, reconsider. Treat others with the same kindness and honesty you wish to receive. If you make a mistake, own up to it and make amends. Peace is found not in perfection but in responsibility. Live in such a way that you can look back at your day with no regrets, knowing you have acted with integrity. True peace isn't found in external success or material wealth. It is found in the quiet confidence of a life well lived, where your conscience is clear and your heart is at ease. 9. Cultivate gratitude, the key to true abundance. Have you ever noticed how some people, despite having little, radiate joy, while others, despite having everything, still feel empty? The difference lies not in their possessions but in their perspective. Gratitude is not about how much you have, it's about how deeply you appreciate what you already have. A poor man sat on the street, holding a simple bowl of rice. A passerby saw him and said, "Is this all you have to eat?" But instead of complaining, the man smiled and replied, "How lucky I am to have food today when so many go hungry." At that moment, he was richer than the wealthiest man, for true wealth is not measured by what fills your pockets but by what fills your heart. His gratitude turned a humble meal into a feast, while those who constantly crave more are never truly satisfied, no matter how much they acquire. Modern society constantly tells us that we need more money, more success, more possessions, to be happy. But this endless chase only leads to stress and dissatisfaction. When you focus on what you lack, you reinforce the belief that you are incomplete. Gratitude shifts your focus. Instead of seeing scarcity, you begin to see abundance. Instead of dwelling on what's missing, you start recognizing the countless blessings already in your life. Gratitude is a habit, and like any habit, it must be cultivated. Every morning, before starting your day, Take a moment to write down 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be big. Sometimes, the smallest things bring the greatest joy. The warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter, a kind word from a friend, these are life's true treasures. Throughout the day, whenever you catch yourself complaining, pause and reframe your thoughts. Instead of saying, "I have so much work to do," say, "I'm grateful for a job that supports me." Instead of thinking, "I wish I had a better home," remind yourself, "I'm lucky to have a place to sleep." Happiness isn't found in getting more, it's found in appreciating what's already here. The more you cultivate gratitude, the more you realize that you are not lacking, you are already abundant. 10. Learn to let go, the path to true freedom. Have you ever felt exhausted from trying to control everything in your life? The more we cling to expectations, people, and circumstances, the more we suffer. Buddhism teaches that attachment is the root of all suffering. When we desperately hold on to things that are beyond our control, we create our own misery. But when we learn to let go, we free ourselves from unnecessary pain. Imagine holding a rope tightly while someone pulls it from the other end. The harder you grip, the more it burns your hands. But the moment you release it, the pain disappears. Life is the same. We suffer not because of external events but because of our resistance to them. We expect people to behave a certain way, we demand life to unfold according to our plans, and we refuse to accept change. But reality is fluid, it does not bend to our will. Letting go does not mean giving up. It does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging to what no longer serves you. Let go of unrealistic expectations, expecting others to always understand you, expecting life to always be fair, expecting yourself to never make mistakes. Let go of toxic relationships, people who drain your energy, manipulate you, or bring negativity into your life. Holding on to them only poisons your peace, but how do we practice letting go? Start small. Let go of a minor irritation today, maybe the rude driver who cut you off. The negative comment from a coworker, or the frustration of plans not going perfectly. When you feel yourself resisting something, pause and ask, is this worth my peace? Most of the time, the answer is no. Letting go is not a one-time action, it's a daily practice. The more you release, the lighter you become. When you stop trying to control everything, life flows effortlessly, and peace becomes your natural state. 11. Understanding that all emotions are temporary. Have you ever been overwhelmed with sadness, anger, or frustration, only to look back weeks or months later and realize how insignificant that moment actually was? At the time, your emotions felt intense and consuming, but eventually, they faded. This is the nature of all emotions. They are like passing clouds in the vast sky of your mind. They appear, linger for a while, and then drift away, yet, in the moment, we often believe our emotions define us. We say, "I am angry," instead of, "I feel anger." We identify with our emotions rather than recognizing them as fleeting experiences. This is why we suffer. When we are happy, we fear losing that happiness. When we are sad, we believe we will always feel this way. But neither state is permanent. Everything changes. A Zen master once taught this lesson to a student struggling with anger. The student asked, "Master, how do I control my anger?" The Zen master replied, "Each time you feel angry, write down what made you upset and read it 1 month later." The student followed this advice. When he finally read his old notes, he realized that most of his anger had been over trivial things, things that no longer mattered. The lesson is clear: emotions are temporary. They may feel intense, but they will pass. You don't have to act on them, and you don't have to let them control you. The next time you feel overwhelmed by an emotion, pause and remind yourself, this too shall pass. Breathe, observe the feeling without judgment, and watch it fade like a cloud drifting across the sky. The more you practice this, the more unshakable your inner peace becomes. 12. Stop trying to control what's beyond your reach. Have you ever found yourself frustrated, stressed, or anxious about things completely outside your control? Maybe it was someone's opinion of you, an unexpected change in plans, or even the way the world works. The truth is, the more we try to control what we can't, the more we suffer. Buddhism teaches us a powerful truth: we can only control our own actions, not other people or external circumstances. Yet, we often resist this reality. We want people to behave a certain way. We want life to unfold according to our expectations. But life doesn't work like that. Trying to control the uncontrollable is like trying to stop the wind from blowing or expecting a river to flow backward. It's an impossible struggle that only leads to frustration. A man once asked the Buddha, "Master, what should I do when others don't act the way I want them to?" The Buddha responded, "Do you wish for the wind not to blow? Do you demand that water stop flowing? Life does not operate according to your desires." This lesson is liberating. The moment you let go of your need to control others or force situations to fit your expectations, you will feel a deep sense of relief. Acceptance is not weakness, it is wisdom. It means recognizing reality as it is and choosing to focus your energy on what you can change, your own thoughts, actions, and responses, the next time you feel overwhelmed by something beyond your control. Take a step back and ask yourself, is this within my power to change? If the answer is no, release it. Redirect your energy toward what you can influence, your own mindset, your own choices, and your own inner peace. The more you practice this, the lighter and freer you will feel. 13. Listen more, react less. Have you ever regretted something you said in the heat of the moment? Words, once spoken, cannot be taken back. Many conflicts, misunderstandings, and broken relationships stem from impulsive reactions rather than thoughtful responses. The truth is, most of us listen not to understand but to reply. Instead of absorbing what the other person is truly saying, we are already forming our response, waiting for our turn to speak. This habit keeps us from seeing the bigger picture and often leads to unnecessary arguments. A young student, known for his quick temper, once asked his master, "How can I stop saying things that hurt others when I'm angry?" The master picked up a glass of water and handed it to the student. "Each time you feel anger rising," he said, "take a sip of water and hold it in your mouth for 10 seconds before speaking." The student was confused but followed the advice. Over time, he realized that those 10 seconds gave him just enough time to calm his emotions, reflect on his words, and choose a more thoughtful response. The lesson here is simple yet powerful: listen more, speak less, and pause before reacting. When you control your reactions, you protect your inner peace and build deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Next time someone says something that upsets you, take a deep breath, 3 slow, mindful inhales, before responding. You may find that many things are not worth the energy of an argument. And often, silence is the most powerful response of all. 14. Focus on the present, not the past. Do you ever find yourself haunted by past mistakes, replaying old regrets over and over in your mind? The past can feel like a heavy burden, weighing you down and preventing you from fully experiencing the present. But here's the truth: the past exists only in your memory. The present moment is the only reality. There is a well-known Zen story about 2 monks traveling together. Along the way, they came across a woman struggling to cross a river. Without hesitation, the older monk lifted her onto his back and carried her across. After setting her down, they continued their journey in silence. Hours later, the younger monk, unable to hold back his frustration, blurted out, "Brother, why did you carry that woman? We are not supposed to touch women." The older monk simply smiled and replied, "I put her down at the riverbank hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" This story perfectly illustrates how we often hold on to things far longer than necessary. The past is like a heavy stone. If you refuse to let it go, you will always be carrying unnecessary weight. So, the next time your mind drifts to past regrets, ask yourself, does this truly matter in this moment? If the answer is no, release it. Shift your focus to the now. Because life is happening here, in this moment, not in the past, not in the future, but right now. 15. Give without expecting anything in return. Have you ever done something kind for someone, only to feel disappointed when they didn't acknowledge or appreciate it? Many of us give with an unconscious expectation, whether it's gratitude, recognition, or reciprocity. But here's the truth: when you attach expectations to your kindness, you set yourself up for disappointment. However, when you give simply for the joy of giving, you experience true happiness. There is a profound lesson from the Buddha on this. One day, a disciple asked him, "Master, what should I do if I help others, but they do not appreciate it?" The Buddha smiled gently and replied, "Give as the sun gives its light, freely." Without expecting anything in return, the sun does not shine because it wants thanks. It shines because it is its nature to do so. Similarly, when you give from the heart without attachment, your generosity becomes an endless source of inner joy rather than a cause of resentment. So today, try this: help someone, offer a kind word, or give without expecting anything back. Observe how it feels. When your kindness is unconditional, it transforms into a gift not just for others, but for yourself. 16. Embrace silence to find inner peace. Have you ever noticed how rare silence is in today's world? We are constantly bombarded with noise, conversations, notifications, music, and endless distractions. But here's the truth: when you embrace silence, you begin to hear the most important voice of all, your own inner wisdom. There is a profound story about the Buddha and the power of silence. One day, a seeker approached him and asked, "Master, can you explain what inner peace truly is?" The Buddha did not answer. He simply smiled and remained silent. Minutes passed, and the seeker grew restless. But then, something remarkable happened. He suddenly understood. He bowed his head and said, "No words can describe peace. It can only be experienced in silence. The greatest truths often do not need explanation, they reveal themselves in the stillness of the mind." When you stop filling every moment with noise, you create space for clarity, wisdom, and deep inner calm. So today, try this: set aside at least 5 minutes to sit in complete silence. No phone, no distractions, no agenda, just pure stillness. Observe how your mind reacts. At first, it may resist, but with time, you will find that in silence, true peace arises. Imagine waking up every morning with a mind as calm as still water, free from overthinking, anxiety, or emotional turmoil. No external chaos can shake you. No negative words can disturb your peace. Instead, you move through life with clarity, resilience, and deep, unshakable serenity. This is not just an ideal, it is a state of being that you can cultivate. Now that you have discovered 16 profound Zen Buddhist principles for mastering your inner world, the real question is, which one will you apply first? Will you embrace the power of letting go? Will you start practicing silence to access deeper wisdom? Or will you shift your perspective and see life through the lens of gratitude? Here's your challenge. Right now, choose one principle that resonated with you the most. Write it down. Commit to practicing it today. Observe how it shifts your energy, your reactions, and your state of mind. Transformation begins with a single step. Take that step today. And don't keep this wisdom to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know, which principle spoke to you the most? How will you apply it to your life? What changes do you hope to see by embracing Zen wisdom? Remember, the smallest changes, when practiced consistently, can create the most profound transformations. If this video resonated with you, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another life-changing lesson from Zen Buddhism wisdom. This is just the beginning. Together, we are building a mindful, awakened community. May your journey be filled with clarity, peace, and wisdom. See you in the next video.